How's everyone feeling today? Lot of talks today. Looking forward to the next one. So I'm sure we had a lot of wonderful discussions today. The one thing I wanted to keep today as a topic of discussion and contention is the space within. You know, all of us talk about the resources out there and the resources which are perishable. All of us talk about the landmass, Mumbai, the earth, the population is increasing. How would we cope with the resources? But one thing we are still neglecting is that with all these opportunities which are coming, all these things which are increasing, be it data, be it the number of apps which are on your phone, be it the desktop which is ever increasing. Look at your Gmail, you'll have 10,000 emails which are unread, and 99% of them will be spam. We do not have time. You ask anyone, let's go and do this thing, and we compromise things for doing the wrong things. And I'll discuss the wrong, and I'll try to differentiate the right. I'll start with a small story of a small town boy, and he, just like you, had a lot of dreams when he was in college, and very smart from an analytical perspective. Fortunately, he got a job in one of the major cities in India on campus, and then he started working with them. Excellent. All was going along so well. He was doing so well. And suddenly, over the course of the next 2, 3 years, 4 years, the guy started to realize, how do you prioritize life? There was a point he was hitting where his productivity was going down. How the day will start is you go to your office, do your work, come back. You do not have time for your family, do not have time for friends. You skip exercise because you want to go out with friends and maybe have some drinks. You want to watch UEFA Champions League at 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. and want to neglect sleep. And slowly, all of this was adding, and the guy was not realizing it. And suddenly, he came to me and he discussed that I'm not happy. And why is it that? And then, a lot of us would relate to it because what we do in day to day life is something like this. We're running. It's a rat race. We are running, running, running. We have the next thing to do. We have the next thing to do, but we are not realizing that this time that we have is limited, and we have to prioritize our own thing, our own inner self. What happened over time was the guy went into depression. He was having trouble even communicating. He would wake up at night and just think, what is his future? What is he going to do? And the phones would look like this. You see a lot of notifications because that's what is happening to all of us. We're just looking at our phones all the time and not enough time to think. This is what he looked like. It's not very clear on the screen, but the idea I'm trying to demarcate here is he was struggling inside. No one knew. And then suddenly he started to introspect. What can he do? What can he do differently? And he focused on something that he invented. That what are the hormones which actually yield happiness? What is happiness? How can we be happy? So he came up with this dose therapy. I'm sure some of you will be aware of it. What is dose therapy? D stands for dopamine. We all have plenty of dopamine, I can say. Dopamine is released with instant gratification. Be it for anything, be it for that Twitter that you just posted, you have 24 likes. Yes, very good. I feel happy about it. You have 10,000 followers on Instagram. Wow, amazing. You check your phone again and again to see there is a notification. That's dopamine. It can be dangerous also moving forward because we get addicted to this dopamine. It is a happy hormone, again, but there are better ways to get dopamine. And in ancient times, how dopamine was given was if someone is working really hard, his boss will come and pat him on the back and say, you're doing good. That's how it was generated. Second is oxytocin. So oxytocin is the hug hormone. That's what I call. Jadoo ki jappi from Munna Bhai. If you hug someone, if you are in a company of a person you love, that's when oxytocin is released. But what we are doing is we are more connected to our phones than with people. The third hormone is serotonin. Serotonin is released when you help others. You help someone out there. And in the end, endorphin, which is again exercises, physical activity. So what was happening was this guy was neglecting all of these things and prioritizing things which were not important. And from that depression, that guy transformed himself and is standing in front of you right now. And I want to tell you how I achieved it. What small differences that I made in my life which helped transform everything. So I came up with a nice term for it called the sweet remedy. And I'll talk to you about what does this sweet remedy mean. And you know, you will not realize how important it is maybe at this stage, but 10 years down the line, this is something that you definitely want to consider. And these are minor points which all of us are aware, but often neglect. So let's come to the first point. Sleep. I can bet here that about half of us will be compromising on sleep. Be it on that WhatsApp chat, be it on that Netflix show, be it on that football finals which is coming late night, be it that Premier League which is coming late night, or the New Zealand-India series that's coming 4 a.m. What do we think? Oh, 1 ghante ki baat hai. This is just a 1 hour thing. You know, even if I sleep 1 hour less, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'll catch up my sleep over the weekend. We tell ourselves that, right? Or no? We do that. But you do not realize one thing, that you're accumulating a sleep debt. When I was there, I could, not sleep whole night. I would be living on Red Bulls and I'll be feeling very happy. But you will realize it after 10 years when it will start hitting you, because the debt that you've accumulated of sleep will not help you concentrate. You'll not be able to concentrate on even the minor tasks. So please, this is the first thing in my dictionary. It improved tremendously my productivity. That's sleep. So this is the first of the sweet remedy. Second, water. Majority of our body is water. We often do not hydrate ourselves enough. Tell me who drinks water deliberately. I don't think anyone will be here, hardly like 10%, who deliberately make sure I'll drink enough water. Again, we do not realize that it has an impact overall in the next 20 years if you're not doing it right now. Exercise. All of us are aware here. All of us say, yaar, I will start exercising right now. The now never comes. Lot of us like me, I'll exercise January 1st and I'll be like, yes, I'll be having 6 packs by June. And I'll go with that beach body on the, beaches in Goa. But that never gets completed. Some of us will be here who are strong enough to do that, but we neglect it. Again, priority. So we have to make sure that we are prioritizing and making sure that we are doing this activity, if not for those 6 packs, for the stability in your own self. Do that and see the difference. Eating healthy. And I don't think the new startups are doing any good for that. Swiggy, Zomatos, you can get the burgers when you want, what you want. And eating healthy is just going for a toss. And all of you here may be thinking that, I don't need to eat healthy, man. I'm just fine. Again, it is a thing that you do not realize right now. It happens progressively. There is a saying, just as body and mind are related, and they are related just as your eyes. I'll give you an example. If you are in darkness and you suddenly go in a room which is bright, your eyes take time to adjust. And similarly, when you are in a bright room, you want to see in a dark room, you cannot see for some time. And you would not want to see, you just repel. Your body and mind is the same. If you are doing positive activities, if you're eating healthy, they'll be obsessively, compulsively focusing on eating healthy. It's not easy for them to go the other way. Similarly, if you're someone who loves McDonald's, it's very hard to eat that quinoa salad. So this is something you have to slowly implement in life. Slowly. They say even when you're exercising, you should not go all out in the first week. It's something that you have to do over time. You have to make it a habit. Do it for 21 days, make it a habit. So that's what you should concentrate on. Yes, the T of sweet, the thankfulness. Often we are not thankful for what we have. We think he's got a new car, man, he's so happy. Oh man, he's landed up that job that I should have landed up with. He's doing so good. His parents love him. We always see the grass on the other side. Always. This is just a problem that's there in our minds. So always keep a thankfulness diary or a place where you keep your blessings. Count your blessings always. The moment I started doing that, life was different. Now coming to the R. How many of us like read, write, do poetry, things in a day-to-day life? Okay, maybe 5, 7 of us among all. This is a big challenge. You need to water that creative side of yours. You know, so again, I'll give you an example. Why do scientists say that writing improves concentration? Try doing that exercise. When you're typing, when you're talking to someone, you can do multiple things. You can multitask because your concentration is not there. Your memory will retain less of what you're typing. You can type on computer, you can type on mobile phone, and you can still talk and converse, whatever you can do. But when you're writing, your mind, your body is involved in writing. You cannot focus or multitask as much as you can with your phone. So you're forced to concentrate on that one aspect, which helps you in your concentration over time. So if given a choice, rather than typing, I would suggest write and let that creative side of you out. Encourage. This is one thing that I feel we do not do enough. We have to go out of our way and encourage the people out there. Not all of us are confident. Some lack confidence. Some are not so extrovert. Some are introvert. They don't want to talk to people. There is no harm in encouraging. Be that one guy in the room who's encouraging the other person and see the difference that you're making to others' life, and then see the difference it's made to you. Try that once. Meditating. Does anyone do that here? Yeah, I think, again, very few. So few of us, often neglecting the most important activity. Does anyone here talk to your own self? Again, the ones who are meditating. I think I cannot emphasize enough that this is the most important activity that you can do with your 15 minutes. Again, it's as simple as that. If you're not meditating, you'll be like, yaar, chhod yaar, main thoda TV dekh leta hu. Let me watch some Netflix. But what you're doing, you think you're occupying your brain, but yourself, your inner self wants to talk to you, and you're negating that, you're neglecting that. I know this may seem like a utopian idea, but just try and meditate once. And there are tricks to do that. Often people ask me, yaar, it's very easy to say, aankhein band karo, aise karke, but it's not as important. You can do meditation anywhere you want. I can do it right here. I can give you a trick that I use myself. You close your eyes. The idea is that you do not have to have thoughts in your mind, which is very difficult, I can tell you. The moment you close your eyes, you'll be like, "Arey, aaj khane mein kya khana hai? Oh, I have to go find this guy. Oh, what is my mom doing at home? Oh, tomorrow I have to submit this assignment." This is extremely difficult if you're not doing it. What I do? There are two tricks I use. One, I play cricket. So I keep a bat in my hand. Whenever an idea comes, I think of it as a ball, and I just throw it outside the ground. Keep on hitting the ideas when they come until there is no idea in your head. Second is you keep a stop sign. Imagine there is a stop sign in your head and it's just opening up whenever there is some random thought that is creeping in your head. Just keep that stop sign and see the difference. These are ideas that worked for me. Try it out. Empathize. We do leadership studies a lot of times, and the most important characteristic of a leader, of a CEO that has come out is empathizing with people. Relating to people. Not everyone is different. Someone is good with some activity, someone is good with something. You cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. All of us are different. And we have to relate to it, we have to realize it, that yes, we are different in this way, and we have to empathize with that guy if he's not able to do something. Be the bigger person in the room. Again, extremely important, disconnecting. Do any of us have a disconnecting hour in a day or disconnecting day where you're completely away from technology? Wow, just one. Now this is amazing, because all of us are hooked to technology. All of us, and we are culprits. You may not realize it right now, you'll realize it. So implement that hour where you're disconnecting from it. You'll feel itchy. Let me see that mail. Let me see that WhatsApp. Let me see the Facebook status. Instagram pe kya ho raha hai? Like, you'll want to go there. But please have that disconnect. It's extremely important for your health. Lastly, you have the why of Sweet Remedy. That's you. Your own willpower. Only you can do it if you decide it. I can tell you 10,000 things and you can say, oh, all of it is fine. I mean, he can think of anything and I don't want to do it. It depends on you, what you want to take in, what you want to soak in, learn from others rather than life teaches you something. And the power is always in you. The destiny, God, whatever you call it, is out there and saying, Tathastu, or you'll be able to do it. If you think you'll be able to do something, you will be able to do something. If you think you can't, you'll not be able to do something. It's as simple as that. And then people say, what is happiness? For me, it is just two words. I ask this question from a lot of people. They say, when I'm having this, they associate it to materialistic things. For me, happiness, I studied a lot on it and came up with this. It's this moment. The past is gone. The future has to come. You only have present. Only this moment. If I want to feel, yes, I'm happy speaking to you guys. Yes, I'm happy. Similarly, you can say, yes, I'm in the TEDx talk. I'm happy. I'm spending time with my best friend. I'm happy. What is holding you? Your own thoughts. So I'll end it with something that I wrote a long back. The world is awaiting its future leaders. It's up to you to realize the challenge. Realize it right now, and you'll see the difference that you're making to the society, to yourself, and the name you're making for your parents. Thank you, everyone.